Alex had been working for almost 20 hours straight. The station's engines had been failing in cycles, and as the only human engineer aboard the remote colony, the responsibility fell entirely on his shoulders. Sweat dripped down his forehead, mixing with the dust and oil smudges from repairing the conduits in the maintenance bay. His small quarters had never felt so lonely, the cold hum of the station's systems echoing through the metallic walls. He had just finished patching a crucial energy line when there was a soft knock at his door. Alex frowned. Visitors were rare in this section of the station, especially at this hour. He rubbed his tired eyes and shuffled toward the door, thinking it might be one of the maintenance bots or a routine security check. When he opened it, he froze. Standing in the dim light of the corridor was a figure that made him question reality. She was humanoid, but not human. Her skin had a soft, pearlescent glow that reflected the faint lights of the station, and her eyes were larger than a human's, deep and shimmering like liquid silver. Her hair fell in long waves over her shoulders. But what startled Alex the most was that she was wearing only a robe that had slipped from her shoulders. "I'm not leaving tonight," she said simply, her voice calm yet commanding. There was no anger, no threat, just certainty. Alex blinked. I think you need to step back. You shouldn't, this is my private quarters." His voice trailed off. He had no idea why his heart was racing, but he felt an odd mixture of fear and curiosity. "I can't leave," she repeated, stepping forward. She didn't seem aggressive. In fact, there was a softness to her movements, a careful precision that suggested she was trained in control. "They are after me. If I go back, I won't survive." Alex shook his head, trying to process what she was saying. Who is after you? Why?" "The Exarchs," she said. "My people. They think I betrayed them. I left my home planet and crossed the borders of the colony illegally. They are hunting me for it." Alex's mind raced. He had dealt with station emergencies, rogue bots, and even minor alien wildlife incidents on the perimeter, but he had never been involved in an interplanetary conflict. Still, something in her expression told him she was telling the truth. There was no malice, only urgency. He stepped aside, motioning for her to enter. "Okay, you can come in, but we have to be careful. The station's security systems, if they detect an unauthorized alien presence, it could alert the authorities, or worse." She nodded, stepping inside. The soft hum of the station suddenly felt heavier, as though the walls themselves were aware of the tension. She closed the door behind her, and Alex quickly secured it, tapping the keypad to lock it. "What do we do now?" he asked, moving toward his workstation. "We wait," she said simply, though there was a hint of impatience in her tone. "They will find me if I stay outside. Inside, you can protect me. At least for a while." Alex wasn't sure if he could, but he didn't voice his doubt. Instead, he scanned the room for anything that might help him understand the situation. Security monitors showed the quiet corridors outside, dimly lit and empty. But he noticed anomalies movement that didn't match any known personnel or bots. "You're sure they are coming?" he asked. She nodded. "I can feel them. Their presence is strong. They have trackers. Even if they don't see me, they will know I am here." Alex swallowed hard. He didn't like confrontation, especially with beings trained in combat far beyond human ability, but he couldn't let her face them alone. Something in her gaze made him feel responsible. "All right," he said finally. "We'll figure this out together." The next hours were tense. Alex monitored the station's systems, while she stayed mostly silent, observing the monitors with a sharp, analytical gaze. Occasionally, she would point out vulnerabilities in the station's defenses that Alex hadn't noticed. Her knowledge of technology was extraordinary. Not just alien, but strategic. It made him realize that she wasn't just fleeing, she was a warrior, trained and aware of threats in ways humans could barely comprehend. Midnight approached, and the station lights flickered. Alex frowned, realizing that the anomalies were growing. The patrol drones began moving in patterns that suggested they were searching specifically for her. She noticed immediately and tensed. "They know I'm here," she whispered. Her voice was calm but carried a sense of urgency. "We have to move soon. If they trace the signal, we won't have much time." Alex's stomach sank. "Move? Where? Where can we go? This is a closed station. There's nowhere safe." She looked at him and smiled faintly. "Humans are clever. You always find a way. Let's find one of your hidden maintenance shafts. It won't be comfortable, but it will give us a chance." Together, they moved quickly through the station, Alex leading while she scanned for potential threats. Every corridor seemed longer than it should be. Every corner darker. The air vents and maintenance shafts became their secret passageways, twisting in ways that only Alex's intimate knowledge of the station could navigate. As they moved, she told him about her world, about the Exarchs and their rigid warrior codes. She spoke of honor, betrayal, and survival, painting a picture of a society where leaving your assigned duty could mean death. Alex listened, fascinated. Her story was terrifying, yet in some ways it mirrored human struggles, loyalty, fear, courage. By the time they reached a safer section of the station, Alex's hands were shaking from both adrenaline and exhaustion. She noticed and placed a hand on his shoulder, not to comfort, but in a gesture of solidarity. "You're brave," she said quietly. "Most humans wouldn't risk themselves for someone like me." "I don't know about that," Alex admitted, his voice rough. "I just couldn't leave you out there." She gave a small nod, and for a moment, the weight of the night lifted. But then, a soft alert flashed on the monitor, an unauthorized presence detected near the central hub. "They're here," she said, her voice tense now. "And they know where we are." Alex felt his heart hammering. He had faced mechanical failures, electrical surges, even rogue security bots. But nothing had prepared him for this, being hunted by a trained alien warrior faction inside his home station. "Stay close," she whispered, moving toward the maintenance shaft's entrance. "We'll have to split if it gets too dangerous. You take the lower routes. I can handle the drones if they follow me. But stay hidden. You are the only human here. They won't expect you." Alex swallowed hard but followed her instructions. The station's shadows became their allies and enemies at the same time. Sounds of movement echoed in the distance, metallic clanks, soft hisses from drone sensors, and the low hum of the station's energy conduits. Hours passed like minutes as they navigated the labyrinthine maintenance paths. Alex's muscles ached. His mind raced. But he kept going. Every time he glanced at her, he noticed a strength in her that was almost unreal. A calm precision that balanced the human chaos beside her. Finally, they reached a small observation bay far from the main corridors. The windows looked out over the planet below. Two twin suns, casting pale light across the alien terrain. For a brief moment, they allowed themselves a pause. "Tonight was only the beginning," she said softly. "If they don't catch me here, they will continue hunting. I can't stay on this station forever." Alex nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "Then we'll figure it out together. Whatever it takes." She looked at him, and for the first time, her gaze softened completely. "You are different from your people," she said. "Brave, clever, and compassionate. I'm glad you were here." The hum of the station continued. But in that small bay, surrounded by the quiet glow of the twin suns, a fragile alliance had formed. Alex didn't know what the next hours would bring, but he realized something tonight. His life had changed forever. And it wasn't just about survival. Outside, The shadows stirred again. Somewhere in the station, the Exarch's trackers moved closer, searching for their prey. Inside, two unlikely allies prepared to face whatever challenges the night would bring, bound by circumstance, courage, and a growing trust that neither could deny. The night had only begun. The station had grown quiet, but the quiet was misleading. Every hum of machinery and every distant clank of metal made Alex's heart pound faster. The small observation bay felt safer than the corridors, but he knew it was only temporary. Drea stood near the window, her glowing eyes scanning the outer decks, alert for any signs of the Exarchs or their drones. "We need to move," she said softly. "They'll search this area soon." "Or 10. Alex nodded. He had been thinking the same thing. Even if they avoided the main corridors, the station was too big, and the Exarchs were persistent. "Where can we go?" he asked. "I know the maintenance shafts, but they won't last forever. Eventually, they'll find us." Drea's gaze flicked to the window, studying the shadows cast by the structural beams outside. "There is a service shuttle docked on the upper ring. It's old, mostly decommissioned. But it can take us to the outer sector. If we can reach it, we can escape this station, or at least get far enough to plan our next move." Alex swallowed. The upper ring was exposed and heavily monitored. "That's risky," he said. "Everything is risky tonight," Drea replied. Her voice was calm, but there was an edge of steel in it. "We move together. Use the shafts as long as possible, and when we reach the upper ring, I will handle the drones if they try to stop us. Can you trust me to do that?" Alex felt a strange mixture of fear and trust. He had only known her for a few hours, yet he already believed in her skills. "I trust you," he said quietly. They began their journey through the maintenance shafts, moving as silently as possible. The metal corridors twisted and turned, narrow and confining, but Alex knew them like the back of his hand. Drea followed closely, her movements precise, almost gliding over the floor without a sound. Occasionally, she would tap on a pipe or panel, scanning for hidden sensors. Hours seemed to pass in silence. Occasionally, they would pause in small alcoves, listening to the faint hum of the station's life systems. Outside, the patrol drones scanned methodically, their sensors sweeping through corridors, hunting for any trace of unauthorized presence. At one point, Alex stumbled over a loose panel. A faint beep echoed through the shaft, and he froze, holding his breath. Drea's hand shot out, gripping his arm and pulling him back against the wall. "They heard that," she whispered. "Stay still." Minutes passed like hours. Finally, the beep faded, and Alex exhaled slowly. "That was close," he murmured. Drea gave him a small nod, her face unreadable. "Close is not enough," she said. "We need to reach the upper ring before they adjust their search patterns. That is when we will have our chance." They moved again, the shafts twisting and turning in a way that made Alex dizzy. He had always prided himself on knowing every corner of the station. But tonight, it felt like the station itself was alive, shifting to keep them trapped. Finally, they reached a maintenance hatch that led to the upper ring. Alex pried it open, and they crawled out into a narrow service corridor that ran along the station's exterior. The corridor was exposed, the cold air from the planet outside rushing in, sending shivers down Alex's spine. "Stay close," Drea said. "The sensors here are stronger. One mistake, and they'll spot us immediately." They moved slowly along the corridor, hugging the walls, careful to avoid the motion sensors embedded in the metallic panels. Alex felt his muscles burn with exhaustion. But the thought of failure pushed him forward. Drea moved effortlessly, her grace and speed making him feel clumsy in comparison. Suddenly, a patrol drone appeared at the far end of the corridor, its lights scanning the area. Alex froze, but Drea didn't hesitate. She stepped forward, her hands glowing faintly with alien energy. A pulse of light shot from her palms, disrupting the drone's sensors. The drone's lights flickered, and it tumbled off the corridor, harmlessly crashing into the station's outer wall. Alex's jaw dropped. That was incredible. Drya didn't reply. She just kept moving, leading him toward the shuttle bay. The tension in the air was palpable, every step bringing them closer to both safety and danger. When they reached the shuttle, Alex's heart leapt. It was old and worn. The paint faded and the systems partially offline, but it was their only chance. Drya moved quickly, overriding the docking systems and preparing the shuttle for launch. Alex helped where he could, his hands trembling with adrenaline. "Almost there," Drya said, her voice steady. "Just a few more minutes." As they started the shuttle, alarms blared across the station. The Exarchs had realized the intruders were escaping. Lights flashed red, and drones swarmed the upper ring, closing in fast. Alex felt a surge of panic. But Drya placed a hand on his arm. "Focus. You can do this. We can do this." The shuttle roared to life, shaking as it lifted from the docking bay. Outside, the drones fired warning pulses, but Drya maneuvered the shuttle with precision, dodging the attacks. Alex held on tightly, watching in awe as she guided them toward the outer sector. Finally, they cleared the station, drifting into the quiet darkness of space. The Exarch's drones faded into the distance, unable to follow them beyond the station's shields. For the first time since the night began, Alex allowed himself to breathe. Drya looked at him, her glowing eyes reflecting the distant stars. "We are safe. For now," she said. Alex nodded, his chest still pounding. "That was unbelievable. I can't believe we made it." She gave a faint smile. "Humans have courage. I underestimated that." "You were brave, Alex. Smarter than I thought." He chuckled nervously. "I just did what I had to do. I couldn't let them get you." Drya studied him for a moment. "Perhaps that is why I trust you. Most would have panicked. Most would have left me. You did not." The shuttle drifted silently, a small vessel moving through the vast emptiness of space. Alex glanced at the planet below, its twin suns casting soft light over the alien terrain. Despite everything, there was beauty in the world they had just escaped from, a reminder of what they were fighting to protect. "What happens now?" Alex asked. Drya's gaze turned distant, thoughtful. "Now, we plan. We find a safe place, a place where I can't be traced. And then, we decide what comes next. I cannot return to my people. Not yet. And you have made a choice by helping me. That choice has consequences." Alex nodded slowly. He understood. Life had changed tonight. Nothing would be the same. He had faced dangers he never imagined. And yet, he felt alive in a way he hadn't in years. As they drifted further from the station, Alex and Drya began to speak quietly, sharing stories of their worlds, their struggles, and their hopes. Alex learned more about her culture, her people, and the reasons behind her exile. Drya learned about humans, their ingenuity, and their resilience. A bond was forming, fragile but undeniable. It was built on trust, courage, and the shared experience of surviving against overwhelming odds. Each word, each glance, each small gesture strengthened it, creating a connection neither of them could ignore. Hours passed as they drifted through space. The shuttle's engines hummed steadily, a comforting sound in the vast silence. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, a reminder of how small and vulnerable they were and yet how powerful courage and trust could be. Finally, Drya turned to Alex, her expression softer than before. "Tonight, we survived because of each other. Tomorrow, we will survive because we choose to. You saved me, Alex. And I will stand by you. Alex felt a warmth he hadn't expected. I don't know what tomorrow holds, he admitted. But I know that I won't leave your side. We'll face it together. A faint smile curved her lips. Good. That is all I need for now. The shuttle continued its journey into the outer sector, carrying two unlikely allies, one human, one alien, toward a future uncertain, yet filled with potential. They had faced the darkness of the station, the pursuit of relentless enemies, and the fear of the unknown. And now, together, they would face whatever challenges the stars held for them. For Alex, the night had begun as another long shift in a lonely station. It had ended with an alien warrior trusting him with her life, a bond forged in danger, and the realization that humanity, with its courage and ingenuity, could rise to meet any challenge, even the threat of an entire alien faction. And for Drea, the night had begun as an escape from death. It ended with hope, a fragile, shining hope that perhaps humans were not just clever, but worthy allies, capable of bravery and compassion in equal measure. The twin suns rose slowly on the horizon of the alien planet below, bathing the landscape in soft, golden light. In that moment, the vastness of space felt less intimidating. Together, they would face the unknown. Together, they had survived. And together, they would continue united by trust, courage, and the unspoken promise that this night was only the beginning of their story.